is life? How is everything? I don't know if I like the way I did my hair. I won't lie. But the makeup looks good. So that's a plus. That's something. We're doing something. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Comment a little fairy, because I feel like a little fairy in this top that I'm wearing right now. Make sure to also like the video if you enjoyed it. Okay, I finally, after a long month of trying to finish this book, I finally did it. Okay, you have to be proud of me because it took so long. Why? Once I put this book down, I would read like what, 20 pages, and then I would put it down, and then it would take me like 3 days, 4 days, maybe even a week to pick it back up. Maybe I was just being lazy. Maybe the book was putting me in a book slump. Like, I couldn't tell you. Okay, I just could not pick it up. And sometimes I didn't feel like reading. Like, crazy times. Let me tell you, I'm hot. It's 38 degrees right now. I'm burning up. Really hot right now. Get into the review. For the first part of this review, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm just gonna tell you the rundown, okay, of the whole shebang. And then the second part, I'm gonna start spoiling the book, okay? Because I got things to say, and I feel like they need to be said. This is the 5th book in this Boys of Torment series. I read the first book. I read the first 2 books of the series, and I didn't like this one as much, Binding Dating. I thought it was very bland. I thought it was very, not bland, I thought it was written in a very childish way. I didn't like how the characters were described in most parts of the book. Because she had this thing where she would just call Shannon, and the way Shannon was described in the book just icked me the wrong way. Like, she was just like, oh, she is this tiny little human, and he is so masculine, big, and it was cringy. It was really cringy for me, okay? So it was a tough time reading this book. But this book, I loved it. I think this probably is the best book in the series. The way it was written is really nice. The pacing of the book was very well done. Rather the pacing of this book, I don't know what was happening there, okay? It was moving really slow. And it's a big book. So like, anyway, it's a very much slow burner type of book, which, knowing me, I'm not the biggest fan of slow burners when it's done like this slow. Like, they confess their love 70% into the book, but the rest, the other before 60%, they were just in denial. So yeah, I liked the second book. The first book, not so much. So I was like, okay, let me skip Joey's story, the 2 middle books, because I don't know, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready for the trauma dump that was gonna be happening in that book, okay? I wasn't ready for that. So I was like, kind of know the jits and the bits of what happens to Joey and like the premise of his storyline. Obviously, I don't know a lot about his girlfriend, but within this book, I basically know everything. I basically know like the plot line, what happened, what is happening, you know, the continuation of their story. I know basically all that I need to know, so I don't feel the need to read it. Back to Taming 7. Gibbs was nicely written in the first 2 books, as I said. He is a lot more funny in these books. His personality is very distinct. All that. He was a great character, which made me want to read about him even more, because I was like, okay, what's his story, you know? So he was nicely done in this book. In this book, also done well, but it doesn't make me want to read the second book to their love story. I'm kind of over their love story. This book follows Gypsy and Claire. Gypsy is Johnny's best friend in book 1 and book 2, in the continuation of the whole series basically. And Claire is Shannon's best friend in all the series. It follows the trauma of Gibbs and what happened to him as a child, how Claire Bear is basically his quote-unquote savior, and how he is so in love with her and vice versa. Okay, now I'm gonna start spoiling the book. If you haven't read the book, maybe dip. If you have read the book, please stick around because I want to know your opinion as well. I feel like the side characters were mid. Very mid. Because in book 1 and book 2, they were done very well. Like, you actually, like, got to know them as characters. Rather in this book, they're kind of just, like, mentioned. And then that's it. Like, I can tell you what happened with the side characters in the first 2 books. Like, the side characters were charismatic, they were loving characters. Rather in this book, I don't know if I love or hate Claire's parents, love or hate Gibbs's parents. You know, they're just bland. They're very one-dimensional characters, which I felt was very lacking because she kind of raised the standards in the first 2 books, and I feel like it wasn't hitting. I found the storytelling here was a bit boring because, like, it felt very much like copy-paste of the first 2 books. I feel like she took a lot of, like, quirks writing style from the first 2 books and just put it in that book. Like, per se, in book 1 and book 2, Shannon and Johnny say they liked to, like, this really awkward high back and forth whenever, like, tensions were high or, like, the room felt a bit awkward. They would just be like, hey, hi, blah blah blah. Like, that was their thing. And then in this book, all of a sudden Claire and Gypsy just start saying hi to each other midway through the book. Like, it was random. It felt very random because I was like, we don't really know them as their business house, okay? So it felt really random, and they were doing it a lot. I was like, what is happening? Like, why are you guys so awkward? It felt very awkward. I didn't want to be reading that. The pacing of the book was a bit off because sometimes things will be happening at a good pace. Okay, we're going quickly, and then all of a sudden it will just go bland. I'm like, okay, what's happening? Like, where is this taking me? Where am I being led within this book? I don't know. I'm confused. And then that leads me to say, like, the amount of plot holes within this book is actually insane. Like, within the book, when Claire found the letter and read the letter and, you know, revealed to the whole friend group what actually happened to Gibbs when he was like 9, 10, 11, and 12, she just, like, blurps it out, and he felt very betrayed and like, God, that wasn't your story to tell. And she basically outed him in front of the whole friend group. Before she outed him, Lizzie, which is, like, quote unquote the bad person in this book, which she's very annoying. I didn't understand what Lizzie's problem was within the book. Like, okay, I get it. He's basically brothers with the guy that supposedly raped your sister, and then your sister took her life because she couldn't handle the pain, which is, like, a very hefty topic, right? But Gypsy is, like, known to hate his brother. Like, everybody knows that he doesn't have a relationship with his stepbrother, and, like, the stepbrother moved away, like, a long time ago after the whole incident happened of her sister. And okay, I don't know, man. I really don't know what her issue was with Gypsy. And, like, she was always being, like, throwing ammunition at him. Like literally she had not one good thing to say, and then she started being very controlling towards Claire, because like Claire is best friends with both of them, and she's like, you gotta pick a side, like pick my side. He's in the wrong because quote unquote his brother raped my sister, but she was very like traumatized on everybody in the worst way possible. Like, okay, people hate other people, but she was doing it in a very frustrating way. Got like really tiring by the end of the book, because I was like, okay, just leave the friend group, like find other people to hang out with, since you hate seeing his face so much. Are they the only people in the fucking whole school? No! So why are you not hanging out with other people? You obviously don't like him because of your reasoning, and I get it, Claire is your best friend, but that doesn't mean that you have to be in the friend group. It doesn't mean you have to be at every gathering and every hangout and just cause chaos every single time. Like, there can never be a point of peace. Also, why wasn't she going to therapy? She obviously needed therapy. And then like her parents divorced, which okay, made her life a lot harder. But why are you not going to therapy? And we all know that you're cutting yourself. So like, why, like, accept help. I get it that she didn't wanna cause more worry and sadness to her mom, because the mom was still grieving even though the incident happened like a long time ago, but she also wasn't trying to heal. Like, nobody in the family felt like they were trying to heal, which, you know, understandable. But yeah, it felt very overdone at the end of the book. Like, every time she spoke, I was like, oh my god, Lizzie. What was I saying before I went on this whole tangent? I don't remember. Before she exploded and said the secret that Gibbs has been hiding for this long, we have Yuge and Lizzie walk into the cafeteria, which is like pretty dark, and we never get explained what they were doing together in a dark room. Like, man, where's your girlfriend? Or why are you with your ex in a dark room? Just the two of you? Kicking it? I don't know. And then after she left out and like Gibbs basically ran away from the school, we never found out why he was bleeding. How did he get the card? Where did he go when he ran away? How did he get home? Oh, and the times that he would trash his rooms, we were never told what triggered him. I mean, okay, yes, he got trauma, but like, what is triggering him? What made him trash his room on a random Tuesday? Now let's talk about the actual love story, because I also have like that. What was that? At some point I literally stopped believing in that little love story, because I was like, I don't believe you. You said you're in love with her, but I feel like it was a very friendly I love you. Like, it was the type of I love you you would say to your best friend, not someone you're quote unquote romantically involved with, because it felt very weak. The love story felt very weak. It wasn't believable. Like, you're telling me in the past 16 years you've only kissed once? Like, you're telling me you've only kissed once in the past 16 years of your life and you guys never wanted to do it again? Right, okay. I believe you, I guess. Yeah, of course, very, very believable. Also, somebody tell me why these two kids, this little girl that this one page today, I was pulling my hair out. I was like, okay, she thinks like this, they shouldn't be doing this. They should not be doing this, because girl, what do you mean? What do you mean? She kept calling her Punani. What? I was just so speechless, because I was like, wait, why is she calling it a tree? Out of all the names that we have on this earth, you chose a tree? Right. Okay. Cool. Whatever. That's her thing, you know. Somebody also tell me why they touched each other. The before dramatic love moment or like dramatic making out moment. They did all that, and also the reasoning to getting together was a bit weak. Like he wasn't really that big of a threat, in my opinion. Like his ego was hurt, and that's why he didn't make a move, she did, which in both books I had a problem with, because I was like, why are the girls the ones making the first move? Like, no, like, men up, okay? She made the first move and he was like, yeah, sure. And then he basically kind of rejected her, and then she kept trying, and then he finally said yes. And they finally had their little running in the rain make out, which I felt wasn't well done, because I wasn't eating it up. It wasn't making me want to kick my feet. It was making me like, oh, this is so childish. Like, that's how I felt when I was reading that chapter. I felt like it was so childish. Like, it wasn't nicely done. And then I think it also ruined it, the fact that they immediately went in right after that. Like, it would have been so much better and so much cuter if they just continued going to the party and arrived wet and like drenched and like, because you basically miss your best friend's sibling party to just this man. And I guess the idea of them doing it for the first time in a treehouse would have been nice, but it was just funny to me. I wasn't eating it up. I really wasn't. Like, it really wasn't giving me like the, ooh, I would love to have this for the, like, no. And then they get caught, the way they get caught is like him fainting because of blood. Which, okay, now we later in the book to understand why he doesn't like seeing blood and so on. But he's in the rugby team, so like it really doesn't make sense, but not really. The first kiss, or the first original makeup, felt very false, felt very unnatural. It made me icked out. I was like, this is so childish, I cannot. Actually, I need to stop saying it in acronyms and just figure out if my dad left the house. Okay. Tozambies, Ruby, how many times have you changed locations? I'm trying to be creative, okay? I like the way Gibbs was written, even though he wasn't as funny in his own book, but the way he was written and his trauma flaws, like what made him who he is, really like makes sense, and I felt very emotional for him and so on. But the way Claire was written was kind of just like, I really hate the tropes where the girls are all about the guys and like you don't really get to know the girl as a person, or like get to know the character in a deeper form, because all they think about, all they talk about, all they dream about is about being with this one amazing, oh my god, guy, and I felt like we didn't get to know her as much as a character. Like, okay, we know that she likes Taylor Swift, and she was a very surface level character, other than serving the purpose of being Gibbs' savior, quote unquote savior, and like the guy that will, relax him, put him out of shit, like calm him down and make his heart go crazy and all that. Now I just sound like a romance hater, but I promise you I'm not a romance hater. I'm a lover girl myself. But I'm still, my camera stopped recording. What was I saying? I'm still allowed to critique the way the love partner was written. And I don't know if I said this in my last review about this series, but the thing is, I noticed that in a lot of her books, she has the two main characters are like, you have the super fucked up, super like not emotionally okay, like he's gone through a lot of trauma, a lot of things, and blah blah blah. And then you have the quote unquote clean, not that the other person is there, but I don't know how to explain it. The other character is very much like, I've had the most perfect life known to man. I've never had a single trauma in life. I've never gone through anything in life. Like, I'm just a little yay type of character, and they have no flaws, they have no trauma, like they've lived the most perfect life. And then this character that has lived quote unquote the perfect life has to go and save the damaged, broken, the word she used, broken, traumatized, like emotionally unwell human, which is very not realistic, because everyone has flaws, everyone has trauma, everyone has like something that they've gone through that makes them think the way that they think, or like act the way that they act, and so on and so forth. But in these books, it just feels like you have the, traumatized, broken person, and then you have the savior, and then it creates this really uneven dynamic between the couples, and also it feels like a lot of just trauma bonding. Like, I felt like the only reason Johnny is with Shannon, that's how I felt in the beginning, before I even when I started reading the book, I was like, this guy just wanna save her. This guy just wants to be with her, because like, she's not unlike other girls. She's too damaged. Blah blah blah. I wanna be her protector. Like, all this, like, they made her seem like she could I can't talk. She could not survive a day without Johnny, because he's quote unquote the savior, which is the same shit with Gibbs and Claire. Feel like he couldn't survive with her. He couldn't sleep with her. He couldn't do all this and stuff. But there also was no mention, or like no go to therapy, or like, work on himself to get somewhat better, and like, not always need Claire. Like, I don't know, Claire was very surface level, bland. Like, I feel like there was no character building, no character development. Maybe she does develop in the second book, and maybe we get to like actually get to know her as her, and not Gibbs quote unquote savior. Like, I didn't like that. Yeah, like, even now that I'm thinking about it, Huge, he was portrayed as like the overly protective, which, like, he was the overly protective, like, always reacting. I think he was overreacting 90% of the time, but anyway, overreactive, and this like guy. But he also was like prescribed as this like flawed guy. Like, he had his own flaws. But Claire, nothing. She is as beautiful as ever. Even towards like Lizzie, the way she was treating Lizzie, like, she was always like, oh, she's the right person. Where it's like, girl, your world is black and white. Like, you think very black and white. Like, where is the diversity? Where is that? Like, she felt very one-dimensional. Like, the time where Lizzie basically called her out, which in this moment I think rightfully so. Like, Lizzie had the right to call her out. And you know what she did is payback? She basically went to the mom without knowing anything about like what's happening with Lizzie. She just went and told the mom like, hey, I think your daughter is like cutting herself. And the mom ended up in the hospital because she got a heart attack, because she thought, okay, second daughter was gonna fucking pass away. And she had zero consequences. Zero. Like, there was not a single ounce of consequences for her actions. I mean, okay, yes, her friends were like, oh god, that was shitty, but other than that, nothing. Never mentioned again. Like, she just expected Lizzie to come and like tell her his deepest, darkest thoughts after she just went and out, which I get it. She did it in good spirit, but the reason why she did it is what's fucked up, because like she was trying to quote unquote help her best friend and like get at her best friend for like being a shitty friend towards her, but she's also being a shitty friend towards the friend at the same time. You get, she's somewhat of a likable character, okay? She's not the worst, but she's not. I like the way the book starts out, because it starts out with what happened to Gibbsy when he was very young, or what happened to his dad and sister when he was very young, which it's not a spoiler because we get a little glimpse of it in book 1 and book 2. So like it was really nice to see that. But then we just go back to the present time. I wish she used like flashbacks to back then, like what was happening, you know, like when oh damn, when he had these triggers when he would trash his room on a random Tuesday. Like I wish that time she would have used that time to like also flashback to back in the day when he was in kindergarten, what he was thinking, what he was feeling, blah blah blah, whatever, you know, all this. There was none of which, like, it would have been nice for that continuation and that little mix of things. It would have been also nice if we as the readers kind of knew why he fainted at the sight of blood in that moment. That would have been a nice time to, you know, have him have a flashback of like something happening in the past, and then Kama's dying, my Kama's dying. Okay, and lastly, because I think I've yapped enough, oh guys, my goal was to read 10 books this year. I'm in 8. I just finished the 8th one and I have 2 more books to read, and then my goal is complete. So I think the next book I'm gonna read is gonna be short, and then we read a big book again. So I give it a 3 stars review on Fumble, which I don't think 3 stars is a bad review. I've given books worse. Anyway, I'm done yapping. I'm hungry. I haven't had breakfast, and it is now 1:30, well actually 2 p.m. and I've been filming all morning, so I need to go eat, probably take a shit, because I'm a girl. I'm just a girl, okay? Anyway, if you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to like, comment. My camera is so disrespectful, shut off. Anyway, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video, which I think the next one will be a vlog, so stay tuned. See ya later. And also, do you like my top? It's like a swimsuit. Swim top. The fuck are they called? I don't know. If you want me to, I'm always ready for your